Most hated underground rappers part 2. And I guess I'll just repeat the intro again. You know, underground fans love to hate. They're like sports fans, but just on another level. Like, they just hate for anything. You could be good, they'll hate on you. You can make bad music, of course they're gonna hate on you. You could be a stand-up human being, they'll make up some allegations about you, spread that, and ruin your reputation just to hate on you. They love hating on people that much, hacking their favorite rappers' Spotify's, taking down their Instagrams or just other social medias, and all sorts of other things. But anyways, let's get into it. The first rapper on this list is Young Fazo. So the first reason he gets hated on, which I guess is the only valid reason to hate a rapper or just have some type of negativity towards them, is his old music was trash. Like, it was so bad. I'm not gonna lie, I have an older video where I tried to be a little nice, but I listened to a couple of those songs and they're not great. They're pretty bad. And this is someone who's Indian too, so like, you know, I try to support him. Like, I support him and everything, but that old music is just not it. But he's also very young and he's gotten better since, so I'll give him props for that. But the main reason he gets hated on is because he's Indian. So I'm not being racist or anything, but being Indian is one of the acceptable races to be racist towards, like being Asian. Like, you know those stereotypes they make against Asian people? I'm not gonna say them, but you know, you can get some ideas. I'm sure there's some ideas that popped in your head. Like, there's definitely something that popped in your head when I said that. It's the same with Indian people, and that's probably why a lot of people hate on Young Fazo. Just because he's Indian, and I guess in this space you don't see a lot of Indian people, you don't see a lot of Asian people. It's mostly just like white and African American, black people, you know what I mean? Another thing about Young Fazo is he's very like one-dimensional. A lot of rappers have like this personality that fans can gravitate towards. Like Summers, he has like this, I guess what people are calling it now is aura, but you know, people just gravitate towards him because they like his personality. Young Fazo is a bit dry. He has interviews out, he interacts with his fans, you know, through snippets and stuff. He does music videos, he drops music regularly, all of that. But at the end of the day, he's just very cookie cutter, which is another reason he gets hated on a lot. His music is really basic, and he's had some creativity with beat selection like TTWG and some of his other songs, but for the most part, his music is pretty regular. He blew up off of a song from Sofego, Adding, which, if we're being honest, that was like the craziest carry in the underground in like the past 3 years. Sofego delivered like one of his best hooks ever. The song blew up on TikTok like crazy, and Young Fazo literally got an entire career from that. And fun fact, they didn't know each other or anything. Young Fazo literally just paid him for the hook, and Sofego delivered, and he accidentally gave him one of his best hooks ever. Like, that song was all over TikTok a couple years ago, and Young Fazo got like the craziest return on investment of any feature. I actually don't know. Like, it was like getting a Drake feature in the underground. I'm not calling Sofego Drake, but what that feature did for him was it just put him on. And remember how he said his music was trash back then? He actually has re-recorded his verse on that song. So if you listen to the song right now, it's a re-recorded verse on the song. It's not his original verse, because even he thought it was bad. But he was also very young, and you have to give him props for being or having the confidence to invest in yourself. Another reason Young Fazo gets a lot of hate is because he doesn't really have a fan base. Like, Rich Amiri and Dom Corleone kind of have fan bases. Like, they don't have big fan bases or like really tight-knit fan bases or die-hard fans, but they have fans, kind of. Young Fazo, he has like no fans. So that's why you'll see him get a ton of hate on Twitter, and no one will have his back. Everyone will just be like, yeah, that guy's trash, or that guy's, he's all right, but they don't want to like defend him or anything. So it's gonna be tough if you're a Young Fazo fan on the internet. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Young Fazo, one of the most hated rappers in the underground. The other day, he's getting hated on for wearing a skirt by none other than Jace. And what would you know? The next rapper on this list is Jace. I don't know, I thought that transition was kind of cool, but this doesn't really need much explaining to do. But you know, let's just say you just saw Jace get a cosign from Lil Uzi or IShowSpeed. I'm gonna give you a rundown on his character in like 30 seconds. Basically, Jace is super rash, does not think before he speaks, and beefs with everyone and their mom. And I'm not gonna lie, it's super entertaining. Like, he doesn't really care about anything. If he just woke up on the wrong side of the bed one day, he'll find a reason to beef with someone. He'll just pick an underground rapper and just beef with them, and then he'll just get bored and just beef with someone else. So what I'm trying to say is, this guy gets into a ton of arguments and a ton of beef with all sorts of people. He doesn't discriminate. He beefs with streamers, YouTubers. He beefs with everyone. On top of that, he's a snitch, which I don't want to be like, yo, he's a snitch, I'm never listening to him again, because, you know, I'm like from the suburbs and I'm Indian, so I don't really care. No, I don't know if that hurts your feelings, but, you know, if you're listening to someone and they're a rapper and they're constantly rapping about how they're this tough or this street or this, that, and then they snitch on everyone when they're facing some charges, it's like, all right, bro, like you're not all that. And because of that, fans have been calling out the hypocrisy in the form of hating, because, you know, Jace isn't a very likable person other than to his fans, I guess. If you see what goes on with Jace, it's just very easy to not like him if you're a fan of other rappers. The thing about Jace is he's pretty talented, so he doesn't really need to be doing this, but he just chooses to. And some fans even believe he's bipolar. I think he takes some type of medication, but yeah, he's just not well sometimes. Another thing about Jace is he is homophobic, so, you know, that's gonna make a lot of people not hate you, but just dislike you. Even Jace fans have had enough for the most part. For example, on his own subreddit, there's this post saying, "It's hard being a Jace fan at this point. The rant he went on earlier was truly disgusting. I know he said similar things before, but what he did on stream was detestable. His music is so damn good, why can't he just shut up?" If you don't know, Jace went on stream and said some crazy things that cannot be said on YouTube without getting your channel striked. The thing about Jace is, I don't know, it's like he's very vocal about his struggles and stuff, so you kind of feel bad for him, but at the same time, you know, it's not an excuse, like mental health, his upbringing, like all that stuff. It's like, damn, bro, you don't really have to do that. But, you know, he acts really odd, and that's why he gets hated on for the most. That's really just it. And I'd say Jace, what sets him apart from all these other rappers is all these other rappers they're just a bit corny, or they did something, or their music's bad. It's like fans have to find a reason for them to hate on them. The thing about Jace is Jace gives fans reasons for people to hate on him. And that's all I really got to say. The final most hated artist in the underground is DC the Don. And I'm not going to go too crazy because recently he had an event where he was taken to the hospital because of, you know, mental health stuff and all the hate he was getting. So I'm not going to be too mean on him. I'm just going to be honest. His music is super basic. It's not even because it's bad. It's just the most generic stuff ever, especially for the underground. And one thing underground fans look for is creativity, you know, how unique you are. And if you're not creative or just aren't unique at all, people are going to flame you. Like, they're just not going to be about it. You might also look at his Instagram and be like, yo, this guy has 500,000 followers. He gets 40, 50K likes every post. How's he underground? And he also has like 500,000 on Spotify, and his biggest song has almost 20 million. I don't know why, but he's just associated with the underground scene. He has friends in the underground, and everyone just knows him. But he's a lot bigger than a lot of these other dudes. He was on the XXL freshman list, which doesn't mean that much. Like, if you look at the freshman list, this last year, there were a couple of nobodies. So DC the Don just gets a ton of hate for being like a cookie cutter industry plant, but underground version, if that makes sense, rapper. Like, no one really likes his music. Like, you'll never hear someone say, yo, turn that DC the Don on. Or, yo, you hear that new DC the Don that dropped the other day? Like, no one has ever said that. I've never heard anyone say that. But somehow he has a career, which it just surprises me. But, you know, I said I wouldn't be too mean. That was just my honest thoughts on him and his music. I'm not gonna go any further. This was like a most hated rappers in the underground video, and I accidentally just started hating on DC the Don. My bad. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and see you next time. I appreciate all the support on the videos. Bye.